abomination of desolation. Then in 70 CE, that was about 140, 135 BCE. Then in 70 CE, the Roman legions under Titus came to set up pagan control again of the Temple Mount by destroying it and the temple, setting up an altar to Mercury, also known as Zeus. From where did Titus and his legions come from? I'm glad you asked. Titus and his legions in 70 CE came from the former Greek Seleucid Empire, where Antiochus came from, which today is known as modern Turkey. Can I hear a good amen? Many of you know this, but half of you have never heard this. So number one, Antiochus came from the Greek quadrant, one of 4 Greek divisions after the death of Alexander, known as the Seleucids. Titus came also from the former Seleucid Empire, the same place Antiochus came from. The armies that helped to destroy Jerusalem were Legion Ex Fretensis, composed of the following units. Okay, so the destruction of Jerusalem came from the same place that Antiochus came from in that first Hanukkah, when he committed the abomination that causes the desolation of the worship of Yahweh. Can I hear a good amen? So he came from the same place, or today known as modern Turkey, the Seleucid Empire. The units were Thyracum Syrakia, Cohort Thracia, Syria Alpia Patrorium, and Cohort Arabia. I don't expect you to remember that. However, they were all units based in the former Greco-Syrian Empire of Antiochus in Asia Minor. Do we got that settled? The destruction of Jerusalem in 70 CE came from the exact same place as the desolation of the temple, 135 BCE, Asia Minor, modern-day Turkey. We got that down? But remember, the history of our people, Yisrael, is, if we study the history, it is a declaration of things that are to come. This message is, are you prepared for Yaakov's trouble? Hanukkah is a historical abject lesson to prepare us for Yaakov's trouble, or the tribulation that is just around the corner, somebody. And so we study the patriarchs, and we study, well, where did the first abomination of desolation come from? It came from Antiochus. Where did the second abomination of desolation come from? It came from the same Greek Syrian area, the quadrant of Alexander's empire, which was Asia Minor, the former Seleucid Empire, and today modern Turkey. Meaning, the last days anti-Mashiach. How many heard that anti-Mashiach will come? The last days anti-Moshiach that will come from Turkey. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Not from New York, not from Washington, and not from Crawford, Texas. Can I hear a good amen? The last days anti-Moshiach will come from the Seleucid region of Alexander's former empire, today modern Turkey. Turn with me to Daniel 7:6. You'll see all these things very clearly. I have to go quickly because we took up a lot of time raising money for the water fountain. Daniel 7 and 6. Give me a page when you get there. Wrong edition, brother. 463. Daniel 7:6. After this, I saw another like a leopard, which had upon the back of its 4 wings a fowl. The beast had 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. Notice, the beast, the Greek Empire, would give rise, the leopard of the Greek Empire, Daniel 7:6, would give birth to another beast who had 4 wings and 4 heads. Notice, empires, now look, This empire was like a leopard, but it was not the leopard. From the leopard came how many different heads? How many different heads? 4 different heads. So in Daniel chapter 7 we see that empire number 1 and empire number 2 are who? Empire number 1, Babylon. Empire number 2, Medo-Persia. Empire number 3 is Greece. And from the Grecian Empire comes another beast which has 4 wings and 4 heads. That means Alexander the Great's empire would historically be divided into how many sections? 4 sections. And from these 4 heads, from one of these 4 sections, will come the last day anti-Messiah. Because Antiochus came from one of these 4 heads. You with me, Darryl? Titus came from one of these 4 heads. Unless you want to tell me that the final abomination of desolation comes from a different area than the former abomination of desolation, then we know for a fact that the Seleucid Empire is now modern Turkey, formerly Constantinople, and today the capital still, Istanbul, the capital of the last world empire, the Turkish Ottoman Empire, to control Israel and to control Jerusalem. It wasn't the British. The British had a United Nations mandate. They were not a colonial power who had possession. They were simply mandating care according to the United Nations. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. I said Baruch Hashem Yahweh. So these 4 heads are 4 generals who would come out of Alexander's divided empire after his death. The 4th beast, or the 4th head, is the Eastern Roman Islam Empire, coming from the area governed by one of these 4 heads. All 4 heads, all 4 empires in Daniel 7 and emanate from Babylon. You can't miss this. It's very important. We don't have time to go into it. You go back to verse 3, Daniel 7:3. 4 beasts came up from the sea. The first beast, verse 4. The second beast, verse 5. The third beast, verse 6. And the 4th and final beast is Islamic Roman Empire, who came from Babylon, from Medo-Persia, from Greece, meaning not New York or Rome or Italy, but from the same land, geographic landmass as every other of those 3 beasts prior to that. One comes out of another, like a baby, like a child, comes out of the mother. And that mother came from that mother. One comes out of, babies are not procreated separately, one comes out of the other. Can I hear a good amen? Amen. I said, can I hear a good amen? Amen. If you don't give me fuel today, I'm not preaching. Amen. I'm not preaching. Give me some fuel. It's been a long week. I need some super unleaded gas from you guys. All 4 Daniel 7 empires emanate from Babel. They all emanate from one another. Babel, or Babylon, is modern-day Iraq. Babylon includes modern-day Iran. Babylon includes modern-day Saudi Arabia. Babylon includes modern-day Turkey, among other Muslim lands as well. Here's the shock. Babylon is a mystery. It's not just Babylon, it's Mystery Babylon. Why? Here's the mystery. It's the same area with different costumes and different leadership, but it all comes out of the same place. That's why it's a mystery. We're looking for a spiritual Babylon como esta. Solamente espiritual. Well, the land of the Chaldeans is not spiritual. The land of the Chaldeans is a literal land. And Alexander didn't conquer spiritual Medo-Persia, and Medo-Persia didn't conquer spiritual Babylon. They were all physical lands with a spiritual system that was the antithesis, or that was an abomination to Yahweh. Can I hear a good amen? So Babylon is both physical and spiritual. Let's focus in on the 3rd empire, found in Daniel 7, the leopard, verse 6. another leopard with 4 wings and 4 heads that was given dominion to it. So the leader of the 4th beast would come from one of the 4 wings or the 4 heads or one of the 4 areas of Alexander's generals. From one of those 4 sub-empires or mini-empires would come the latter-day anti-Mashiach, or Daniel's little horn. So let's focus in on beast number 3 out of the 4 beasts of Daniel chapter 7. The 3rd beast is who? Who did I just tell you the 3rd beast was? Hello? Who's the leopard? Greece. Greece. Yavan. Greece. From Greece will come the anti-Moshiach, who will come from one of the 4 quadrants of Alexander's empire. Now, just for historical purposes, the Greek Empire was all the way from Turkey in the east, all the way eastward to where Pakistan is today. I'll say that again. The Greek Empire was from Turkey all the way eastward to modern-day Pakistan, but the Greek Empire did not include Western Europe. It only went as far west as the eastern part of Europe, but most of Europe was never conquered by Alexander. Most of Europe was never conquered by Medo-Persia. Most of Europe was never conquered by Babylon. All of their empire was based where? In the Middle East. Correct. Now look at Daniel 7:7. Is anyone enjoying? I need fuel. After this I saw in the night visions. Daniel sees the night vision. And see a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, exceeding strong, had great iron teeth, devoured and broke in pieces and trampled down the residue with its feet, meaning the rest of the empires. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. The 4th beast is Islam. Islam shares the region of the Eastern Roman leg, not the European Roman leg. Okay, Rome was divided into 2 parts. We had the Roman Empire in the west, and then we had the Roman Empire in the east. Amen? What was the capital of the Roman Empire in the east? Constantinople, which is modern day what? Istanbul, Turkey. So, the 4th beast shares the region that Alexander did control, meaning East Roman Empire. Now, the identification of the little horn or the little crescent is literal, not metaphoric. What is the anti-Mashiach called in other scriptures that are found in Daniel? He is called what? The little horn. Is he not? Is he not? When we say horn, what shape or symbol is a horn? What shape or symbol is a horn? A crescent. What is a modern day symbol of Islam? It is a crescent. Can I hear a good amen? So it is Daniel's little horn, as we see elsewhere in Daniel. Daniel 8:9, as a matter of fact. The little horn is the crescent symbol of Islam, but the horn, we read Daniel, many prophecy teachers read Daniel, and they read horn as something that's metaphoric, or something that's parabolic. No, it is the literal symbol of the anti-Moshiach in these last days. Can I hear a good amen? So, Yahweh gives it to you on a silver platter. He gives you the symbol under which the anti-Moshiach will come from one of the 4 areas that used to belong to Alexander the Great's leopard empire. How many are still with me? How many have lost me? I'm sorry, I don't have enough time to stop and gather you. You're going to have to catch up. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Can I hear a good amen? So, if we go to Daniel 8:9, we see more about this 4th beast who would come out of the leopard. having 4 wings and 4 heads. Daniel 8:9. Out of one of them, there's that goat, and that's the Greek Empire. And the goat, if you look back in Daniel 8:8, look, the male goat grew great. When he was strong, the great horn was broken, meaning Alexander's empire. And in the place of Alexander's empire came 4 noticeable generals to take over Alexander's empire, who were toward the 4 winds of the heaven. And from one of these 4 empires came a little horn. So Alexander the Great's Greek Empire, Zechariah, was the great horn. From this empire of the great horn would come a little horn from one of the 4 heads or 4 sections of Alexander the Great's former empire. Can I hear a good amen? Amen. Yahweh, brothers and sisters, Yahweh gives it to you on a silver platter. Are you with me? Because he tells you the symbol under which the anti-Mashiach is coming. A horn, a crescent. It is the universal symbol on the top of the Maneret. I believe that's how it's pronounced. You see the universal symbol of Islam on top of every Maneret, every mosque. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. I said Baruch Hashem Yahweh. So Daniel 8:9 pinpoints the little horn, anti-Mashiach, rising from the divided Greek Empire, from one of the 4 regions. Which one? We learned earlier, where Antiochus came from on Chanukah to commit the abomination of desolation, the Seleucid portion, and he came from the Seleucid portion west into the Middle East. Again, Alexander's empire was eastward toward Pakistan, with no portion of Europe, Western Europe, ever included. It was never part of the leopard Greek Empire. Now, many prophecy teachers have concluded that the little horn of Daniel 8:9 was in fact Antiochus Epiphanes. Is that true? Yes. Remember, in Scripture you have both a historical context as well as an eschatological or an end-time context. So most prophecies can be considered dual prophecies because you have a historical context and you have the end-time or the eschatological context. Are you with me? I said, are you with me? Are we on? Are we going? So, the name of this message, Chris, is preparation for Yaakov's trouble. We need to be prepared. We need to know where to look. We need to be alert. So prophecy teachers have said, wait a second, Daniel 8:9 is speaking against the Hanukkah account when he came into the pleasant land. Look at the end of verse 9. From one of these 4 quadrants, meaning the Seleucid or the Greek-Syrian quadrant, came Antiochus into Jerusalem. He went south and east toward the land of Israel, called the pleasant land. So verse 9 of Daniel 8 has been fulfilled, right? Wrong. It's been fulfilled in the immediate historical context, but I will prove to you that Daniel 8:9 cannot be limited to the historical Hanukkah. It speaks of an end-time Hanukkah victory and an end-time Hanukkah cleansing for Yahweh over the Islamic horn of the crescent moon deity Allah. Can I hear a good amen?